AG fans, GojiFan93 here, and welcome to another Kaiju discussion video. Today we're going to look at the Monsterverse, and in particular we're going to look at the good of the Monsterverse, and what makes the Monsterverse truly special. Now again, my opinions obviously have, changed a little bit over the time, since Godzilla vs. Kong going into the new Empire. At first, I originally, and still to a point, am not super jazzed with the direction that it's been since 2014. I wish that it sort of kept that realistic, grounded tone to it. But over time, I've sort of learned to accept what the Monsterverse is, and especially having -1 come out, it sort of gave me the dark, serious Godzilla that I wanted, and so now I can look at the Monsterverse and sort of embrace it for its crazy zaniness that it's doing. And the more and more I think about the new Empire, the more and more I'm actually a little more excited about it than I was when it was initially announced. Today, since the new Empire is coming out in literally a few weeks, I wanted to talk about the good of the Monsterverse and to, sort of shed some light on, in terms of this series that even I have been a little too harsh on, and to just, talk good about it and to get your guys' opinions as well on this whole topic. The films pay homage to the source materials that it comes from, but injecting them with a cinematic experience that modernizes it in a Hollywood form. And this respect has definitely resonated with me, and I know a lot of fans out there as well. And it offers a familiar yet fresh perspective on these beloved characters that we all know and love. The Monsterverse especially also boasts some of the most awe-inspiring visuals in recent cinema. We've witnessed towering giants clash in photorealistic detail, and it's really breathtaking. That's probably one of the biggest things that I can say is that the visual effects of the films have always been top-notch in every single film. It's just the visual effects team consistently delivers those jaw-dropping moments. And beneath the surface, these films are not super deep, but there is a little bit of weaving a thought-provoking message about, relationship with the environment, or like how humans are portrayed as a threat to, the world in terms of disrupting natural order and endangering, the titans or other, species on the planet. It's a subtle commentary that, encourages viewers to consider the consequences of our actions on a global scale. The titans are definitely the stars of the show, and the human characters, they're there to try to add emotional depth into the narrative. We do witness struggles, we do witness sacrifices, we see triumphs as they navigate this world with, these colossal creatures. But the blend of human drama and monster action, it can create captivating and relatable experiences like a lot of the Toho films. But one thing that I do feel is missing from it is this cohesiveness with connective tissue. It seems like every film has its own cast of characters that doesn't necessarily move to the next film. It's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it makes the films feel more of like a Showa era-esque feel where, yes, these are all in the same universe, but really each film can stand on its own. But that is probably the one thing that I would say that I really wish this series would do, is that it would just bring back a lot of characters from the previous films so that we can see where, what they're up to, how they've been doing, or if they have been killed off, fine. Like, I know some of the characters have been killed off in the franchise, but that's probably the one bad thing. But the parts where it does hit, right? The parts when there are human drama, it actually does work very well. Of course, the parts with Bryan Cranston dying, the parts where Dr. Serizawa sacrifices himself to, bring back Godzilla. A lot of the parts with Gia in Godzilla vs. Kong are exceptionally done. And the Monsterverse, being a cinematic universe, doesn't shy away from expanding it. Each film will introduce either a new titan or a new group, new characters, and we basically explore the complex relationships between them and the monsters or just the continuing relationship with us and the monsters. And the ongoing narrative, even though, again, it's not super tight and cohesive, it does keep the audience engaged, ready for the next film to come out to see how it does tie into the overall universe. And we are eager to see new threats and alliances that might emerge, which, for instance, we're going to see in the new Empire. And at its core, the Monsterverse is a celebration of wonder. It allows us to escape into a world where it's just, this awesome, fantastical reality of, kaiju action. The monsters reignite our childhood sense of awe. I mean, I can definitely say that watching these films does make me feel like a kid again. And whether you're a lifelong fan or a newcomer to the world of kaiju, the Monsterverse does offer an experience unlike any other, because this is a Hollywood version with all the money being put into it to make it look as good as it does. And it reminds us of the sheer power and brutality of these monsters. So thank you guys so much for watching on, the exploration of the Monsterverse's strengths. And, I want to know, what are your favorite aspects of this cinematic universe? I really want to keep it positive in the comments, guys. I know that there is a lot of discourse going on in the fan base in terms of the Monsterverse versus Toho, whatever. We're not about that, and I'm especially not about that. It doesn't matter the two different series going on. I'm wanting to look at the Monsterverse with not the goggle lenses of Toho or anything like that. We're specifically looking at the Monsterverse, and I want to know your thoughts on the Monsterverse as a whole. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay big, G fans.